So today we're going to talk about like staying inspired without a following, and this is a kind of the topic that's come up with some of my friends before, and we'll talk about it at lunch, like dinner, certain things like that, and we'll just say like we want to be artists, but how do we stay inspired? Kind of wanted to just talk about like the keys of keeping yourself motivated, keeping yourself inspired, and keeping yourself moving as a creator, making sure that like you're consistently growing as an artist, even though you may not have the audience that you want yet. How to prepare yourself so if one day maybe that audience does come to you. So like one thing that comes up a lot, like when I'm thinking about this sort of thing, is like, why do I do this? Like, what about this occupation keeps me going? Why do I want to continue this? Why do I even care to even talk to this camera about? Because I'm going to tell you right now, like, once you find, like, that reason to keep going, it's not going to be that hard. So, like, a big thing that I'll ask my friends and I'll ask myself is, like, what makes me happy? Like, what about this makes me keep going? Like, why do I love to do this? And for me, it's the technical side of things, and it's also the creative side of things, and it's also kind of, I like the way that I can portray myself socially, like, with my work. Let's talk about the technical side of things. Like, there's a lot of technical stuff that goes into this field of work. Depending on what you're doing, there's going to be all sorts of technical things that you pick up along the way as you're doing this job. But like for me, like on the technical side of things, it's like I like filling up my brain with this knowledge of all different sorts of things that I can pull from at any time if I'd ever want to create something. Some things are easier than others, and some things are a lot harder than others. So something like camera technicality can be a lot easier than something like choosing the right lens for different situations. Stuff like that you just pick up over time. You can't just pick up a camera and know the best conditions to shoot landscape or the best conditions for astrophotography. Things in photography is just still, like still photos. When you're talking about cinema or making videos, there's a lot more that goes along with it because it's a linear thing that people are like watching move. And then, some people may just like the social side of it. Of all my friends, I may be this guy is a photographer. People will come to my page and they'll know what they're gonna see. They're like, hey dude, you're that dude that takes those really cool photos. But for me personally, like socially, like the photos like socially are more of just a way so people can kind of see what I've been up to, like the current things I'm trying out. There's usually a couple different reasons why people will do this, and I just kind of want you guys to think about why you do it personally. So like once you've figured all that out, it's usually easier to figure out the next step that you need to take as an artist. This leads us into like gauging your current skill level. Like how much do you know right now? Like where do you want to go? Where have you been before? How far have you come? And a really good thing to remember is that you don't know everything, and there's always going to be something more to learn. That mindset can be really motivating in itself because you don't know everything. So say you want to do this for the rest of your life, like 50 years from now, there's still going to be more to learn. Like you haven't learned everything. There's so much to learn. You got to recognize, like, even if you don't know what to do right now, that there's something that you can be working on. So the way that I've personally kind of evolved for the most part is I found things that I think are really cool. I found things on YouTube, I found things on Instagram, different things like that I say like wow, that was really cool. I want to learn how to do this. And so a lot of my inspiration has come from just trying to match like people who are really good at this. And after practicing like a lot of different things and a lot of different skills that kind of overlap into different fields of what I want to do, I've sort of like gained a lot of knowledge just by trying to emulate things that I've seen before. A really good way to learn how to do something is to do it. You see that cool photo or effect in a video that you really like, you can go look up a tutorial on YouTube. You can try to help yourself. You just kind of find things you like and you reverse engineer them. You figure out how they're made, the steps in the process to get there. And in the future, you can look at work and you can figure out how they did it and place those steps together in your head. You need to start trying to figure out how those things were made, so that way you can start applying that into your own work. Another good thing is to like make sure that you're always on the hunt for like the next big thing that people are doing. When you see people like trying a new style of editing in their photos, or you see like new trends coming on YouTube, like new trends coming in videos, it's always good to be aware of what's going on around you in that sense. You can see like what kind of work is doing really good right now, and you can try to even apply that to your own work. I'm not saying that you like absolutely have to conform to the trends and be like everybody else. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. But it's really good to keep in mind like what people are currently doing right now. And sometimes that can inspire you to put your own twist on things, do it a little different. You can do it in your own way, like see what people like. You can experiment with it. So like a really important thing in this business is you need to have reflection time. Reflection time is very important. You need to be able to sit down and look at yourself as an artist, as a creator, and look at your work, and you need to be able to figure out where you went wrong. You need to see what you could do better next time. You can see what did really well. You can see the things that haven't really worked so well. So like a lot of people will say like you need to be on the grind constantly. You need to be working. the more you're working, the better you're going to get faster, and I completely agree with that. That's very true. But I still think that having that time to sit back and think and, you know, look at yourself kind of from that third person view and analyze what you're currently doing right now, and, you know, seeing where you're at, what you want to be doing, seeing where you've come from, you know, things like that. It helps you to see like where you need to put work in next, like what things you can kind of lay off on more because you're really good at them. You can find the things that you're struggling with or the new things that you haven't learned yet, and you can focus on those instead. So like a really, really good thing that I've found is like going outside. If I just take my mind off of what I'm doing for a while, sometimes when I come back, I'll have different ideas, kind of a fresher look to things. It's kind of the same thing as like, you know, getting up and like going and getting a coffee or something. Go outside, go experience something, like go live a little bit. So it's really good to just get out sometimes and, you know, go see some friends or go take a walk somewhere.
Brandon?
What?
I didn't bring my wallet.
Here.
Use the gear that you have. The more you use your gear, like the more comfortable you're gonna get with it. I've had times where I'll go like shoot photos on a day that I didn't even think I was like gonna shoot photos. And sometimes like the photos that I get on those days are really good. I'll surprise myself sometimes. If I get my camera and I actually go somewhere for an hour and go take photos or something, I'll feel a lot better than I would have if I would have just sat at home at my desk like thinking about what I'm gonna do. Force yourself to do something. If you force yourself to do something, you're putting yourself in a different environment. Another big one is self-encouragement. Like don't be so hard on yourself, you know, and don't care so much about what other people think about your work. They're never going to like your work, and they're never going to have anything positive to say about your work, so you might as well just ignore them. You'll find that like when you separate like yourself from negative energy, like magic will happen. When you've got all positive vibes in you, there's nothing holding you back.
These gorilla pods are just amazing, you know?
What do you think of my gorilla pod?
They just mount on anything, you know? They could just ride anything. They could, you know, just, you know, mount on anything.
Yeah.
It's a gorilla pod, dude.
Just because you don't have that audience yet, like giving you constant like feedback on your work and telling you how great it is or telling you how bad it is, you're still learning along the way, so it's not really useless because you're still getting somewhere. Find that next new thing that will be your drive for like the next month or, you know, the next week, the next 2 days, who knows. Eventually that following may come, eventually it may not, you know, but at least you've still put yourself somewhere. So that's it for today, I guess. I'm gonna try to do like videos like this more in the future. So yeah, that's that. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.